All right. Welcome in, everybody, to the Can't We Kick It podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, along with Chuck. Yeah.
Hey.
What's going on, Chuck? Just out there in outer space, just floating away. you and Russ Cole.
You see, like, what was it in Avenue 5?
Yeah. That was so good. Oh my God. Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Chuck and I last week made a deal about watching something that the other one hadn't, right? Chuck had not seen Tenet, and he'd not seen Memento. And I had not seen, crazy to believe, True Detective Season 1. I haven't seen any of the seasons, but I just finished Season 1 and was blown away by it. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about this week, because there's not a lot on TV right now, and we're getting ready for the new year. The Golden Globes also, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Chuck watched that. But we watched a little bit of something that we hadn't watched before and kind of forced ourselves to. So I had a great time watching True Detective. Did you have a great time watching some new Christopher Nolan shit?
I did. I really loved. I mean, I talk about loving Christopher Nolan, and well, that Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Inception is really good. And then at work the other day, Mike said we made this challenge last week, and at work it was like, what are all the movies that he made? And we started going through filmography, and I had seen two of like the 20, right? Like, or whatever. And so watched Memento and Tenet over the last week and was blown away. I think Tenet more, and maybe because it was a newer one.
For sure. Yeah.
And I had never. Guy Pearce is so funny in Memento because I've never really known much about him or been into Guy Pearce stuff.
Yeah.
But he looks like a dirtier Brad Pitt. Like old Brad Pitt from Fight Club, but like skinnier and kind of dirtier.
Yep.
But yeah, Memento was really good. It was what, Nolan's second movie after The Prestige. No, The Prestige was after the one before it was another one-word title.
Yeah, it was a one-word movie. Yeah.
That was in 98, and the Memento was 2000.
And then he did Insomnia after that with Al Pacino and Robin Williams. Crazy, like third movie out of the gate. He's doing like two of the biggest actors.
And we got a whole list.
Yeah.
And my backpack with my notepad is too far away from my reach. So, but yeah, we definitely every Nolan movie tells, I think now that I've seen 4 of them, but the 4 that I've seen, they tell a story so differently than other directors, creators, writers, producers would tell a story.
Yeah.
And that's the brilliance of it. And like Memento, I can't even explain it without going into the whole movie, but it starts at the end and works its way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliantly done. And had Joey Pants in it, Joey Pantalones.
Yeah.
He's, seemingly in a lot of movies, and he does a good job. And just the way that story is told is pretty amazing. And then Tenet, I was just blown away because where Memento works backwards, Tenet works forward and backwards, and they intercept each other. Like, it's just it's mind-blowing. I need to watch Tenet like 3 or 4 more times. And even Memento, like, not until reading about it for like an hour afterwards did I really understand the whole concept of that movie.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, for those who haven't seen it, a guy believes his wife was raped and murdered, and he suffered a memory loss event where he can't remember anything from the day before, so he tattoos his body and makes notes to try to figure out and seek his revenge, but it's really not what you think is going to happen. And then Tenet is like time inversion, stuff attack the future attacking the past,
Yeah.
and it all coming together. I mean, I guess that would be the simplest thing I explain it, but Denzel's son?
Yep. John
Is
David Washington. Yep.
John David Washington is amazing. He is so freaking good. Like,
Yeah.
what else is he in? I don't.
I not a lot that I can think of. I mean, that's the cool thing between Tenet and Memento, and I'll look at what he's in just a second. But Memento, right, is like early work Nolan,
Yeah.
low budget,
Yeah.
all script, no special effects hardly. I can't imagine there's any special effects for the like digitalized anything.
No.
And then you go all the way to like Tenet, and now he's doing like Oppenheimer, where he wants to. I heard a joke like all the actors are shitting their pants because he wants to use practical effects in Oppenheimer, so got to develop an H-bomb for him.
Yeah, I heard that too. He wanted to use a real bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, that's a great point, because in Memento, it's just gritty. It's almost like independent film level
Yeah.
production, and then Tenet is just mind blowing. In the towards the end of the movie with the big like coup de grace set piece. I mean, that thing must have cost a fortune to do as well.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, that huge battle scene, and like there's so many people running and explosions. Yeah. John David Washington, the only other thing I would know him from is Black Klansman, which also had Adam Driver in it. So that's like his only other like claim to fame for the most part. So he's pretty new on the scene.
Yeah, and Tenet was what, 2020 or 2021?
2020.
New, right? 2020.
Yeah, right before COVID. Yeah.
Didn't that come out like right? I think I was reading or listened to another podcast that talks about movies, and they were saying that was like the last movie they saw at theaters, like before COVID came.
I think it was, because I think it was one of the first movies that did the HBO Max drop right after the movie shut down, because that's where I saw it, was on HBO Max. So it was at a really weird time. It had a lot of hype because the only thing Nolan like marketed it was just the name Tenet. There was nothing else until the first trailer, which came out like it felt like a week before the movie. So it was a really weird marketing campaign.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't remember it at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then until I found out it was a Christopher Nolan movie, and you talked about it, and my favorite movie podcasters talked about it, and I'm like, did you know Tenet is 10 backwards and forwards?
Yeah.
Well, it's
it's the pincer movement.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Which I love, because when I watched it like the same day we were talking about it in the office, and I noticed little things after watching it again, where when the first time he's told about Tenet, right, and how it can open good doors and bad doors, it also includes the gesture. And then I started noticing that they were, anytime someone would be like, well, that's part of being a tenant, and they'd be like holding a glass or something, and I was like, oh, like I never noticed it the first like time I watched it.
Yeah, I think those are the subtle clues. Like, I got to go back and watch it again, because you just miss. I mean, in Nolan's movies, I mean, like Inception, Interstellar, you've got to watch it multiple times to figure out, everything that's going on.
There's so many layers to his movies. Yeah.
There's layers to this shit.
Yeah. Which is why you're going to like The Prestige. I mean, we talked about that in the office. It's like historical fiction that it's dated in the past, like right around that science is taking off with electricity, and then add magic into that and magicians and all of this shit. Like, it's a great Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman movie. And it's got Michael Caine in it, which it's funny because Michael Caine is like sprinkled into Christopher Nolan movies, and he was in Tenet for all of like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's in Tenet. He's in Interstellar. Was he in Inception?
He was, I don't know if he was in Inception, but he was in every single Batman movie that Christopher Nolan did. So it's like they were huge on that, but I remember seeing it in the trailer. And it was like, oh man, Michael Caine is in another Christopher Nolan movie. Basically, the trailer showed like his entirety of the entire movie. It was like 20 seconds and he's out and you never see him again.
He's like Evan Peters to Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
That's like Michael Caine. Yeah, isn't I mean Michael Caine's great.
Yeah.
He's a great actor anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
um,
he's also in the Prestige, so that'll be good. You'll enjoy that. And then you haven't seen the Batman series, which are they're not mind twists, but they get better as the trilogy goes on.
it and that's the thing. Like I think I've mentioned this before. I've only watched the Michael Keaton, the first Batman. So
Classic. Love it.
um, I've got I'm gonna try to watch. I've got the list of Nolan movies,
Nice.
and I mean the ones I'm least looking forward to is the Batman ones and the Superman one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he
I'm
wrote
gonna
Man
try
of
to watch
Steel.
it.
Yeah. Or co-wrote. Yeah, he didn't direct
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, Insomnia, which is the last one I'll mention. I've only seen it one time. It's about a serial killer up in Alaska who is supposedly played by Robin Williams. I vaguely remember seeing it. Al Pacino's the cop. I'll have to go back and watch it, but I just don't remember if it's a mind fuck at all or not. So that'll be something we'll both have to watch.
Well, I mean, I think actually that sounds great because my favorite Robin Williams is 1 Hour Photo.
Whoo! That
He's
is
like,
a highly underrated, fucked up movie.
yeah,
That's a great movie.
yeah. I never was a big fan of his comedy, like, which sounds odd. It's kind of like the anti.
Yeah,
Everybody
anti-Robin
loves
Williams.
him. Yeah, but I never kind of got into his shtick, his style, but he was great in 1 Hour Photo or whatever it was called.
Oh, what was his name in that? Psy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just remember like the scene, like I remember two scenes in particular. Both are fucked up. One where he's like in the bathroom or something and he's like covering his eyes and he just starts bleeding or something like that. And then the other is like when he like catches the husband having an affair and then just starts taking photos. I was like, Jesus, this movie is so messed up. But it's such a good Robin Williams performance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
That
creepy.
yeah, that could be a Christopher Nolan movie and put a twist on it. Like it was all a dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Robin Williams is like he's the time knife, or he's the time like
Yeah.
he's the like source of time, and his photographs like or like could turn it into some bullshit like that.
Yeah, he's the watcher. He just sees time through like photographs in this like 1 hour Photoshop.
Yeah.
Oh, great concept. Wow.
Yeah. Now I so yeah, highly recommend Tenet, Memento, any Christopher Nolan movie. A lot of people aren't going to like it because he's kind of divisive, but what I love about his movies is doesn't he doesn't hand you anything. You have to
No.
work for it. I know a lot of people don't watch TV or don't like watching TV and movies where you have to work for it because it's their release just to sit back and veg or like
Just enjoy the show. Yeah.
yeah. Not me. I want to be mind fucked.
Yeah. I want to have to think about it. Like those are probably like his movies are probably some of the movies that I've most thought about is Christopher Nolan, just trying to figure out what the fuck he means in it. And we didn't even talk about Dunkirk, which isn't that much of a mind fuck.
Yeah, that's not a real story though, is it? Or is it?
No, it is a real story. I think it's World War II, like before World War II officially starts. All these British soldiers got stuck on Dunkirk beach and were just basically terrorized by the Nazis until people tried to come and save it. It's a crazy story. It's a surprising movie for him to do, like Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a biography almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's war movies are always interesting. I like I I don't watch them as much as I should. But I haven't
Have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
No.
Holy. Okay, well,
I knew that was gonna get you because
yeah.
If for those that don't know, Mike has a history degree.
Yeah. it basically my specialty was in like U.S. military history, Civil War to World War II. Um,
Do,
not to plug another podcast, but the rewatchables just recently did Saving Private Ryan, and it's a good one. So
gotcha.
yeah, that's one you got to watch. That's one of the few movies that I will admit I actually cry to, beginning and end. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Like that. I mean, that's how I am with Interstellar.
No, I did weep to Interstellar. I will admit that too. Yeah, I walked out of the theater, cried.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, for me, I didn't. I don't think I saw it till late on, so I don't think I saw it in the theater. But you know, but like I told you before, I think the last until I saw Nope was I saw what Baywatch, and then probably before that hadn't seen a movie at the theater except for like when I took my kids when they were
Yeah.
younger. So, um, what do you
Fun
think of?
fun
Okay,
segue real quick. What's the first movie you ever saw in theaters?
honestly, I think probably I know I saw Back to the Future, all three of them in theaters back in the 80s. 85, I know I saw Back to the Future when that came out, the first one. And I was 8.
Whew.
So I probably saw my mom likes to go to the movies, so I'm sure we went a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty sure probably saw ET at the movies as well.
Whew.
So, I mean, back then though, like from my birth to high school, like in high school, we used to go to the movies on like Friday or Saturday before we went to parties. Like,
Yeah.
like we're literally friends and I, or you'd have a date or a girl or whatever, and you go to the movie. Like I saw Dumb and Dumber in theaters, and
Nice.
I mean, just thinking of all the movies I saw. We used to used to sneak in like bottles of Mad Dog and stuff into the theater, Mad Dog
Yeah.
2020,
Yeah.
and drink and watch the movie, and then go to the party afterwards. So I mean, that was like Friday or Saturday nights, like in high school too.
Jeez.
So usually is me taking a date out to the movies and then dropping them off because they had like a 10 o'clock curfew, and then going to parties.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think
But
the first movie I saw, it was either crazy, just being younger, was either The Lion King or I saw Jurassic Park. I can't remember which one came first, but that was one of the first movies I ever saw.
I saw the first Jurassic. I think I saw the first 3 in the movie theater as well.
I was
I know
way too young to see Jurassic Park.
the first one was what, 92,
90,
93,
yeah,
95.
it was early. Yeah, it was early 90s, I think. Yeah, mid to early.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably a date movie. Um Shoot, I think I saw Casino in the
Oh,
movie theater. Uh I don't think Goodfellas. Maybe Goodfellas too. Because that was 90s, right? Or
yeah,
Casino was 90s.
Casino was 90s.
Um,
I think Goodfellas was 80s. Yeah, like late 80s. But kid you not, just saw Casino for the first time like a year ago.
oh, I think we had this conversation, not on the podcast, but at work. I
Yeah, I think
remember
just at
this.
work. Yeah,
Because I'm like, you hadn't seen Casino? We were
yeah.
talking like, and or no, I think we were talking about it because they were doing it on, was it on
Oh,
rewatchables? They were
it
talking
might have
about
been.
it.
Yeah,
And yeah, Casino, I almost like Casino. It's not better than Goodfellas. Don't get me wrong; it's not close, but uh, Casino's good, man. That's such
it,
a
it's
it,
arrogant Robert De Niro just being like, try to fucking kill me.
yeah.
Like rubbing
But
it in their faces, like, and Joe Pesci just losing his shit.
well, the funny thing with all the movies, the Marty Scorsese's, like people think it's glorifying, the mob life, and they all get fucked in the end.
Yeah.
Like, no one really makes it out. And I haven't seen The Irishman yet, but that's supposedly like the cap on the whole. Like, it really sucks to be a mobster kind of thing, especially. I mean, usually there's only 2 ways out, like dead or in jail. So,
Yeah. Which, if you're gonna watch that, strap in. Like, give yourself. It's like 3.5 hours long. I watched it when it came out on Netflix. Fuck.
That's why I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Um,
It's worth it to watch it because the guy who plays Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire is in it, and he goes toe to toe with
shit.
Al Pacino. He's amazing. I'll send you some behind the scenes stuff. It's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He was so good in Boardwalk Empire. I
Yeah.
forgot. Like, Boardwalk Empire is another one. Where the guy who played Lucky
Oh,
Luciano and
yes.
Meyer Lansky, Jeffrey Wright played the guy who came in. Jeffrey Wright from Westworld was a gangster that came into Chalky's Turf. I mean, like the
Yeah.
actor Steve Buscemi,
His
Bobby
brother.
Cannavale,
Yeah.
yeah, his brother who's in True Detective. Is he he's the preacher, or
Yeah.
wasn't he
Yeah,
something?
he's the tent revival preacher in True Detective. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's brother. He's Gamby's ex-wife husband and fucking vice principals.
Dirt bike guy. Yeah. Oh my god. So good.
Shane Wiggum.
Hey, wake up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But speaking of like HBO shows, Matthew McConaughey, you watched True Detective season 1.
Dude, blown away. From the first episode, like I'd say like so it's right, you know what it's about, but for the viewers, like it's about a murder that is somewhat feels like it's tied to the occult. And it's Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey are the two detectives put on the case, and they hate each other, which is hilarious because in real life they love each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to imagine they just busted each other's balls the whole time while filming. But they are trying to figure out who killed this woman who they put like antlers on her and all this shit. And it just like dives deeper and deeper and deeper into like swamp life, like old times, like weird religion shit. And it was based somewhat on the like I was reading about it as soon as I finished it, like the Hosanna like Mission Church like network in Louisiana that got busted for sex crimes and all this stuff like that, sexual assault. And an amazing performance by both Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. I was every time McConaughey was on screen, I was just locked in. I was like his
Yeah,
looks, his like off camera looks, and he just fucking has a way.
young and old. I mean, like, so
With his
there's
Fu Manchu and yeah.
in the young one, like he just stare off, and you can tell he's thinking about something, like as he's investigating. And at the end, like, I mean, not at the end, but during when they're talking about the prior investigations, and he's got the long hair and the Fu Manchu, and he's like folding up, making figures out of Lone Star beer cans. He's just like, you guys saw it all wrong, man. Like, it's just like, it's just the coolest fucking person in the world, man. Like, I don't,
Time is a flat circle.
yeah, dude. The first time I saw that, I almost lost my mind. Like, I literally Googled that and went down a rabbit hole about time. If you catch a theme, like time for me is like, because we're living on borrowed time. Like, we have a
Right.
certain amount of time. So like any concept of time where it's like different, that I'm like, I want to like,
Yeah.
that's why like Tenet, and it's like going backwards, and it's like, wait, what? And it's like, I want to hear about that.
Yeah. And it's like, the contrast to Woody Harrelson, who's got a wife and kids, and he's obviously like having an affair with like Alexander Daddario and some other
Oh,
chick later in the show. And then like McConaughey, who lives in an apartment with just a mattress and like a mirror that's like this big for him to like stare off into with one eye. And you don't really know like what his deal is, but he's like so dialed into psychology and sociology and anthropology. He just understands people. And I think they mentioned
mhm.
like his like sensory, like where he can associate a memory with two different senses. I don't know, something
Yeah.
really weird. But it was amazing. Uh, really great performance. But just to see the ending had to be, I agree with you, one of the best episodes of television with how weird that shit got.
Yeah.
in the swamp with like people who were basically like hillbilly, like mentally like incest bred people.
That
And they
fucking
were like,
dude, that dude and his like wife, like,
oh my
will you give me
God.
flowers? And you're just like,
Oh
oh,
God,
like
yeah. Yeah.
that's it's some disturbing stuff, and it's brilliant and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I mean, that it's just, I mean, without going in too much detail about it, we've skirted around pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, there's just so much the religious stuff in there, and the wellspring program they call it, like in the show, and the how like the church is tied in with the governor, and like it's just a,
How it may be
I
like
mean,
a larger conspiracy and they're covering it
yeah,
up. And McConaughey just seems like he's losing it. Like with every episode, he's going deeper and deeper into like his like fucked up psychology. And like you find out at the end, like maybe he's not wrong, but maybe he is wrong to some degree because you don't really know. Because you and I were
yeah,
going back and forth about who actually was involved. Was the governor involved? Was the big preacher involved? So crazy connections, especially for these days where everybody's talking about like QAnon and
yeah. No,
the
it's
sprawl, as Matthew McConaughey liked to call it.
we as people love like theories that take up a lot of people and a lot of energy, and that are so wild that we believe that that's the case, because it can't be so simple as this.
Yeah,
Just going back to like JFK, it's like, oh well, there had to be more than one shooter because of this, and it came from here, and no, it had to come from this grassy knoll, and but yeah, is there probably a little more behind it? Like, who did someone hire Lee Harvey Oswald or whatever? Is there
right.
stuff in the classified documents that we won't know? But it went from a wild thing of, you know, multiple shooters, and the bullet can't come from the book. I always say suppository, but the book depository, um, because it went like his head went back into the left, or whatever. Uh, like the Kramer
Whatever
spitting at
Kevin
the.
Kevin Costner said in JFK, back and to the left.
But yeah, would you ever see the Seinfeld episode where Keith Hernandez spit on Kramer? It's
The
like
magic loogie. Keith Hernandez. Yeah.
back into the left.
That's a great episode. Oh my god. Nice game, pretty boy. And then I turned and I was
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what was a Parks and Rec episode where the pie is thrown at, was it Leslie and fucking Chris Pratt and Andy's trying to figure it out? Like,
he's using Jerry and he's like, just stay still. Stay still. Stay still. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
oh man.
Yeah, that's gotten a lot of traction as a joke. That's good stuff. But yeah, I think it's really hard. Like the first episode was amazing of True Detective, just setting up the chessboard and the players, and then the episode where McConaughey has to go undercover. Right, I think that's one thing we love is like it's local, right? Like you go to
Yeah.
Louisiana a lot. I've been through Louisiana several times. They mentioned Lake Charles, Houston, Baton Rouge, Beaumont, like all
Beaumont.
of this shit
Yeah.
that we live within 100 miles of,
Yeah.
or however big Texas is,
Yeah.
right? But he goes undercover and like then decides in order to get to this meth cooker, he'll like hit a safe house in the projects with these other three guys. And of course it just goes like tits up. Like it goes to shit. He's running for his life. I thought that was an amazing, that's where the show kind of like turned again and
Yeah.
went in a great direction. Because the first like 3 or 4 were
Yeah.
setting up all of the psychological stuff, and then it was back to action. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And that's where like it really turned on from there and propelled it forward. I mean, without that episode, even if it wasn't 100% necessary, maybe for the plot a little bit, but it was still, I mean, it was beautifully shot. Just following his purview through the projects, right? And
Yeah.
just the whole situation.
Yeah, it was like a single camera shot once they got outside, like moving from like house to house. It was so good.
And then you had the overhead, like, too, with them. Yeah, it was brilliant, man.
Yeah, police
That's such a
chopper
good,
and got the spotlight and shit. Yeah, that was really good directing and cinematography.
yeah. And did you notice? So, spoiler alert if you're listening and you haven't seen it, the guy, who did it. Did you notice back where you saw it in like episode 2 or 3 or whatever? You saw him like riding the lawnmower or
As soon as I don't think they were feds. They were the two detectives that were interviewing Harrelson and McConaughey, because it goes back right between interviews and what actually happened. But when those two dudes pulled up looking for that small like African American church, and he was mowing, I was like,
yeah,
that was the dude that was at the school that McConaughey like talked to. Yeah, it hit as soon as they pulled up to him. I was like, that's the guy.
yeah.
And then it clicked. That was you were right. It was somebody I never expected.
No, and then they talked about, you go back and they're like green ears, and like even you go back in that scene is, either from painting or from mowing, and like it's just wild, man. Like that was what's cool. It's like it's not like out of left field because you meet him a couple times and there's clues, but it also leaves it to where you think it could be multiple people, up until the end, right? So, which was good. So I'm excited for season 4. So I really wasn't a big fan of 2, and 3 was pretty good, but we were going back and watch it as well because season 4 is coming out this year with Jodie Foster. So, and it's taking place in Alaska. And Rust in season 1 spent some time in Alaska, so that'd be badass if somehow like it ties back to time there. Yeah, the time goes,
the pincer movement. Yeah. As soon as he, because like McConaughey was like off the grid for like a few years, and he was like, yeah, I was working fishing boats in Alaska, and you and I had just talked about how season 4 is going to be based in Alaska. I was like, no way. So it's possible. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's possible.
But see, season 3, everybody thought there was going to be tie-ins as well because it takes place in like Mississippi.
Yeah,
and there is some mentions of similar things, so it may be kind of like they kind of bump up. Season 2 doesn't bump up against it all, but season 3 gets like, ooh, here's a comet coming by the earth.
Yeah.
But anything else on Christopher Nolan or True Detective?
No, True Detective. I mean, dude, even like Michelle Monaghan, who played Woody Harrelson's wife, did really good being like the pissed off wife after he like cheated on her so many times. Dude, when not this isn't even giving anything away, but like when his daughter gets caught with those two guys, and he's like, maybe I'll press charges, and he like goes down there, he's like, either I press charges, and he's like putting on like lawn mowing gloves, and he's like, or you step out here and we get some air, and the guy's like, I don't want it. He's like, get the fuck out of here, and he beats the shit out of him.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
everybody acts. The only problem that I had was in the last couple episodes. I think there was a scene with, I think the ex like police officer or government official where they go out to his boat, and he's got like a huge offshore boat like sitting in the swamp, that probably never could have made it back there. But
yeah, there's no way. Yeah, which I thought was hilarious because he was like, what about y'all's boat? And Woody Harrelson was like, it's not my boat.
Oh yeah,
I ain't never seen that fucking thing before.
Because they rented the boat for that. That's right.
Or they stole it. Yeah, like
yeah.
But yeah, for it to be in the swamp, and then I think my only nitpick really is the whole green ears thing with the painting. Like it seemed a little excessive when you could have just gone for the lawnmower ear protectors were green. Yeah. That's what I would have gone with, but I get where they were going. They had to tie in the company. I get it. Yeah.
Because they painted they were like painted what they
houses, churches, parishes, government built, so they were connected, right?
Yeah.
So
it's all connected.
It's a
time
cabal.
is a flat circle.
You see, we see it as a circle or as a sphere,
It's
but
just
fourth dimensional beings see it
it,
as a flat circle. And I was just like, dude, how much weed is this guy smoking
dude,
right now?
it like him and Woody are just sitting outside staring at the stars, man. They've
Yeah.
probably done that at like McConaughey's like place in Austin,
Oh yeah.
they're just like stoned and talking about the stars.
Yeah.
But that's what's brilliant with them. They're just both like, good actors and good Southern man.
That's for sure. Yeah. No, that was good stuff. I don't have anything more to add. Just Christopher Nolan and True
So
Detective. That's two of the best things on the planet Earth.
yeah, and we're gonna do a Christopher Nolan episode where we're gonna rank. We're gonna finish up some of the other Nolan movies, and then we'll do a ranking and why. But our last thing I think we're going to talk about today is the Golden Globes. So I don't. Did you watch it at all?
I did not. I don't normally watch. I will watch the Oscars, but I don't normally watch the TV. I watched the Emmys last year because of Ted Lasso and stuff and Severance, but I don't normally watch award shows. To be honest with you.
I usually don't either. But like last night, I got home from my second job, like doing plumbing, and I um I was like, oh, we're not watching anything. And no, the Emmys or the Golden Globes are on. And I guess last year they didn't have them or they didn't televise them because of like some bad history, I think, with the foreign press
Yep.
and the lack of diversity in award winners. And I think it was something related to that. But I watched it, and I mean, award shows are kind of corny in the first place, but Gerard Carmichael is one of my favorite comedians. Was the host, and it's such an interesting thing because he would talk and tell jokes, and no one was really laughing. But there's kind of like a round table in the room format, and they're like drinking, and um, it's like they're talking to each other, so it's kind of loud. And the funny thing was, though, talking about drinking, there was like a couple noticeably really drunk people. And so like White Lotus won for one of our favorite shows, one of our top 10,
Yep.
top 5s, one for best miniseries or TV film. And Mike White accepted the award, and he came over and was like, sorry everybody, I'm kind of drunk because I don't know why we haven't had food, we just had alcohol. And like, so he was just like rambling on drunk. And but he noted that first. And then um House of the Dragon won for best drama TV series,
Yep.
and Millie Alcock was up there, and she looks like she was about to fall over.
Oh, jeez.
She
Putting
looked
them back.
hammered. Yeah,
Oh
she looked
man.
hammered. There's some stuff like going around on Twitter, and it's just like memes of her like like just poor thing. But it seemed like they seem to always have a lot of fun at that because it's a more laid back one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's not the
um
Emmys and it's not the Oscars. It's a little bit more drink up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only just TV wise, and then we can talk a little bit about some movie stuff because I had an
Yeah.
interesting movie experience too. But uh, Julia Garner won for Best Supporting Actress in TV Series for Ozark.
Ozark. Kudos. Kudos.
Jennifer Coolidge won Best Supporting Actress in Limited Series or Anthology for White Lotus.
Don't think
I
anybody's
think
surprised by that.
she won what, the Oscar or the Emmy for that last year? Is it
She
Emmy
won the
the
Emmy
TV?
last year. Yeah.
White Lotus won for Best Miniseries or TV Film. Abbott Elementary won for Comedy TV Series, which we've talked about that. We've never seen it, but we've mentioned I think it's on ABC or something. It's become very popular.
Yep.
Jeremy Allen White won for actor in the musical or comedy TV series for The Bear, which is another one that's highly ranked that we haven't watched on FX Hulu. Evan Peters, one of my favorites, one for an actor and miniseries or motion picture for TV. That was the Dahmer series. Yep. So that was interesting when because he won, and then Ryan Murphy won a Carol Burnett Award, whatever that means. But they showed all of his stuff, and he's a big proponent of the LGBT community, and he came out as gay at 15.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I never even dug into his background. I just like all his stuff. So he does American Horror Stories, an American Horror Story, and he did Dahmer and Nip Tuck. I mean, he's done a lot. And I'm blanking on. So he also did the Watcher, which I only watched one episode of. But he does really well with fucked up stuff. Like, I think he did Nurse Hatchet or Ratchet.
Nurse Ratchet, which was a spinoff from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, and it's also has the actress, I'm blanking on her, but she's in pretty much every season of American Horror Story.
Jessica Paulson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
or Sarah Paulson, whatever.
Sarah Paulson. Because he has Jessica Lange, and a lot of his stuff is Jessica Lange, Sarah Paulson, Louis Rabb, Evan Peters. He has kind of like how Mike White has a lot with Jennifer Coolidge, and you mentioned Michael Caine with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy has a lot of the same people and a lot of this stuff. And so it's interesting to learn about his life, because I really like him as a director. And this year's American Horror Story, which I think I had in the top 20, it was close, but it was basically like about like gay people in New York in the 70s and 80s, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Which was a good season, but Amanda Seyfried won for the
Dropout.
The Dropout, which I thought that was, I mean, she was the best actress in a miniseries. I thought that was well worth it, because was really good in that.
Yeah, she did really well. Yeah.
Zendaya won actress in a drama TV series for Euphoria.
Heard it's good. Haven't seen it.
Yeah, I watched first episode. It was good.
Nice.
But then I stopped. And House of the Dragon TV series, I think that's it for TV.
Yeah.
Oh, one more TV thing. Best Supporting Actor in a limited series or anthology was Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird on Apple TV. That was nominated in almost every single category. That was nominated for like best show, best actor, but like they won. I think the Blackbird, I don't see it on my list, but Blackbird won something else because the director of Blackbird was funny. He was up on the screen. But yeah, we gotta watch that at some point, because that was an awards darling last night. But the big winner, Steven Spielberg, won for The Fabelmans, the movie about himself.
Yeah. Basically a biopic. Yeah.
And he won the best director and the best movie.
Wow.
Another movie getting a lot of run was The Banshees of Inisherin, which is on HBO Max with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, which I still don't know what it's about, but I may have to give it a watch, because I like Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah. Which you mentioned Paul Walter Hauser. I remember him from, did you watch Richard Jewell, the movie?
Oh, he played Richard Jewell?
He played Richard Jewell in that, dude. Yeah.
I never saw it, but now that makes sense, because I've seen the poster for it. I gotta watch Jewell.
Just him and that mustache, man. Yeah. He was really good in that with Sam Rockwell. That was a good movie.
They did on The Big Picture. Sorry, we've mentioned a lot of podcasts today. Sean Fennessy. They did rankings, and he was there was a draft or rankings for like the year that I think it was 2019, maybe, when Jewel came out.
Yeah.
And he had it ranked in like the top 20 movies of the year, and people were giving him shit, and he's like, it was a good movie.
It
Like,
was, yeah.
so
It's a crazy story. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, I forgot that he didn't do it, right? Or did
Yeah, he
we?
didn't. They caught
Yeah,
the guy who did it years later after they
yeah,
ruined his fucking life.
yeah. I know. I need
Yeah.
to go back and watch it because I'm like, oh yeah, he's the guy that bombed the Olympics. Like, no,
Yeah.
he wasn't.
Yeah. And his mom is played by Kathy Bates. And she does
Ooh,
amazing in that movie. Like really well. Yeah.
she's not bad in anything. She's even
No.
good in The Office for like half a season. What was her name?
Oh god.
Shit. I don't
It's
know.
like it's a short name. We're gonna move on. It's gonna come to me. I can tell you right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I keep thinking Nelly. That's not Nelly. It's
Right.
Joe. Is it Joe?
Joe Bennett.
Joe Bennett. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's Stetson's Bennett's wife,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's his grandmother.
the 40-year-old Georgia quarterback.
Yeah. Oh my god. How'd that dude never won the Heisman? Well, this year it should have gone to Hendon Hooker, but that's just me. That's a different tangent. Yeah.
Yeah. Different podcast.
Yeah.
That's our podcast, the Burrow Brothers, talking everything football in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And sorry, that's a long inside joke that Mike and I will tell at another point.
Yeah, we'll get into the Skyline Chili later. Did you see Kevin Costner won for Yellowstone for Best Actor in a Drama? Yeah.
Yeah, I was at my parents today, and my dad was like sarcastically like, "Did you watch the Golden Globes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why would you watch that shit?" And I'm like, "I talk about TV." I was like, "It was nothing on."
I got to be prepared.
And my mom's like, "The only thing I know is that Kevin Costner won for Yellowstone because she watches Yellowstone."
Awesome.
And yeah, so and my dad's like, I watched the real Yellowstone. Like he watched something that Kevin Costner does about Yellowstone, like the park. It's like
yeah.
So, but yeah, it was all the fake cowboys are probably excited.
Oh, big time, yeah. All the play cowboys.
I want to go to the rodeo this year in Houston to see how many people are wearing Yellowstone. I'm stealing this off of Facebook. One of my Facebook friends was like, they need a store for costume, like a Spirit Halloween, but for costumes for the Houston rodeo.
Oh,
where
yeah.
everybody can go buy their gear to wear for the rodeo and the cook off once a year.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yellowstone Day at the Houston Rodeo. Yeah.
Someone's like, it's called Cavender's in Boot Barn, and they're like, I go to that place normally because then everybody's like, I've been wearing cowboy boots since I was a kid.
Oh,
it's like,
god.
But it's you get all. I still have never worn cowboy boots, so
that's hilarious.
Did
you Austin Butler won for best performance in a movie? Did you watch Elvis?
No, but the funny thing with him is he was talking in an Elvis voice accepting the award.
He spent so much time crafting his Elvis impersonation that if you can go back and watch him do interviews as himself and then watch interviews today of him talking about not just Elvis but about other things, and he sounds just like Elvis, dude. He's pretty much taken on that voice. It's insane.
Yeah, no, when he was thanking, he said, "Thank you, Lisa Marie, I love you." Like to fucking Elvis's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure she was involved in the movie and she was at the table with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because he was getting a lot of stuff on Twitter afterwards saying like, isn't that dude from like Orange County, like California?
Yeah.
Like,
he really is. Yeah.
Everybody else I know, like from SoCal, I was like, sup, brah? Like,
yeah.
Gnarly ways. Like, are you stoked? And
right.
He's like, thank you very much. Like, fucking, he became Elvis. He even looked like Elvis on stage. I'm like,
dude, his impersonation of Elvis was probably the best that there has ever been. The movie is weird because it's a Baz Luhrmann movie, which is always a wacky movie, but they also basically filmed the movie from his manager's like perspective, Colonel Tom Parker, who's played by Tom Hanks, who has a really weird accent, which kind of like doesn't ruin the film. It just takes
Yeah.
away from the performance that is Austin Butler.
Yeah.
But he looks, moves, and sounds just like Elvis. It's insane. He did so much work to become that. Even his audition, like all these guys audition singing like Elvis, doing the like shit that he does, and all Austin Butler did was record him like singing, I think Unchained like melody at a piano in a bathrobe, like crying after his mother's funeral or something like that. And Baz Luhrmann was like, "That's my guy." Like it was
Wow.
weird. So it's a movie that has a lot of weird historical like connections. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
Yeah.
I did watch The Menu, which also came up in a bunch of categories but didn't win anything.
Really?
Yeah. So that came up in like think best that was up for like drama motion picture, and I think Ralph Fiennes was up for um like best actor, and then this redhead lady in the movie was up for best supporting actress.
Oh, Anya
Um
Taylor Joy. Yeah.
she's so fucking good.
She
Like
is, dude. Did you
I
watch The
did.
Queen's Gambit?
Oh, she's the queen. No, Blanca saw part of that. Yeah, I
You
didn't
gotta
realize
watch it,
she's the
dude.
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
No, she's really good. Without
Yeah.
her and her and Ralph Fiennes and the menu are amazing. I mean, it's Judith Light is in the menu too. The old the what she was from, was it three? No, Who's the Boss? I think wasn't it
Oh
Tony's
yeah.
wife, or and it was some one of those '80s TV shows. But yeah, you got to get on the menu. That's fucked up movie.
Yeah.
It's good though.
We were hyping it up pretty big when we saw the trailer back in the day. So like now that it's on HBO, I gotta watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I was a little surprised House of the Dragon won Best Drama Series, because there was like Severance was in there,
It
and
beat out Severance.
it beat it. I would have probably picked it third or fourth, to be honest, out of
Yeah,
like the shows. So,
I agree.
but
I will. This is a funny, like weird. Best original song went to RRR. I have actually seen like 3/4 of that movie. It's like 4 hours long. Jackie's brother had us watch it. It's like an
it's Indian,
Indian
right?
Bollywood movie. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's about like two guys who I don't know, it's like during like imperialism time. It's super weird, but strangely kind of good. But
I,
it's like 4 hours.
it was up for the best foreign language film, like this Argentina in 1985
Yeah.
won it. But the clip they showed of RR was like, ooh, this looks pretty dope. Like,
Yeah. If you don't mind
our
subtitles, it might be worth a watch. It's a little out there, but there's moments where you'll watch it and you'll be like, this is hilarious.
one of my favorite movies is Old Boy, like the
Oh
Korean version
yeah.
subtitles, and it's
Yeah.
like can't pass up a good subtitle movie.
Yep.
Um, Babylon also was up for a lot of stuff and won, but I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
No, and I'm hesitant too. I mean, between that and what was the other movie we said was probably going to be a
Amsterdam?
Amsterdam? It's just a huge cast. I
Yeah.
really don't know the plot of either movie. I just think it's like, guys, we've got like 30 famous people in it. Just come out and see the movie. I'm not interested.
Yeah, and there's a it's in the so I watch a lot of Peacock because I was rewatching The Office, and then English Premier League, and then
For sure.
Golden Globes were last night. So they've had on every single commercial a preview for Poker Face, which is starring Natasha Lyonne, that's coming out January
Yep.
26th. It's got like every actor imaginable in it. It's some
Jeez.
like it's like an all-star cast, and I'm like, how did this get on Peacock? So we got to keep that on our radar, because it's got let's see, the cast is Natasha Lyonne, Adrian Brody, Stephanie Zhu, Chloe Sevigny, um, Ron Perlman, Ellen Barkin, Benjamin Bratt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, JGL, Jamila Jamil. She was on The Good Place.
Oh yeah, and she was
Um,
in She-Hulk, I think. Yeah.
oh yeah. Nick Nolte, Tim Meadows, Luis Guzman, Judith Light, and probably some younger people that that I didn't read off. David Castaneda, Dasha Polanco, Lil Rel Howery, Simon Helberg, Charles Melton. It's got like a huge cast, but I may have to give that a watch. So,
Let me know how that one is.
yeah, since I'm paying for Peacock, I might as well watch
Yeah.
something besides. Well, I watch Resident Alien when that's on, and soccer. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know. The Emmys are coming up, I think, too, right? And
Yeah, I think not much longer, and we'll have Emmy season. Yeah,
and Oscars, and it's
yeah.
award season.
It's my favorite season. Awards.
Yeah. What's your favorite season of the year? Awards. Remember when my favorite holiday was summer?
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Entry deadline Emmys. Yeah, nominees won't be announced for the Emmys until July, so it's gonna
Oh,
be a
okay.
while. It's a little further than I thought.
Yeah, I thought one of the award shows was coming up. Oh, Oscars are March 12th.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
So
Come on, Brendan Fraser and the Whale. Come on, Brendan Fraser.
he was up for a lot of things too yesterday.
Yeah, he was nominated for the Whale. Yeah. I think he'll take the Oscar. Yeah.
Probably. They love a story where someone gets like really fat and like torments their body for their art.
Oh yeah.
Is that movie out
It's it.
anywhere?
It's in theaters only. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be on
I'll watch
HBO,
it.
I'm sure, at some point, but right now they're really pushing the theater thing.
Yeah. I don't even know what it's about. I just read that he got really big for the part.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's an overweight like English or writing teacher for a college who does, and he's like a hermit, like he like only does Zoom classes and he doesn't show his camera, and he's like dying of cancer, and he's trying to reconnect with his daughter that he had with his wife in a previous life, basically. And he like they got a divorce, and then he like became homosexual, and like
Whoa.
his partner like died, and
They're
that's when
running
he like fell off the wagon is when his partner died.
they're running the gambit of everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything that a lot of right-wing people wouldn't like too.
Yeah. They're hitting all the Oscar check marks.
They're
Yeah.
hitting the Oscar check marks, and they're hitting like the woke agenda, or they're like everything that like certain people are attacking for being woke, like,
Right.
oh, a recluse who only does stuff on Zoom and who was straight and became gay, and
Right.
yeah, sorry, I had to throw that
No,
in.
you're
But
good. It's funny because that's true. Movies do that, but I think it's going to be a good one for him. I mean, he got rave reviews for it, so we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited for the Oscars this year because it's going to be tough between him and Austin Butler for Elvis. I think that's going to be the top two.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, what's that guy for Glass Onion?
Oh, Daniel Craig.
He was up for some awards. They didn't win anything
Nah.
either.
Glass Onion was okay.
Oh, you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's okay. The first one's better. If you got to watch one, watch the first one. Knives Out.
That's what I heard. Knives Out was really good.
Yeah.
I think my mom told me she really liked it, so she was really excited to watch the second one. I'm like, what?
So immediately, Chuck is like, it's not my
No,
demographic.
no. But everybody I know that's watched Knives Out has loved it. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
what
good
it's
one.
kind of getting at. Like, people with different tastes, from young to old. You know.
Yep.
So, but yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I mean, we covered two of the greatest things on a TV, and then we talked about the Golden Globes, which literally ranks the best things on TV and movies. So, yeah, I'm pretty set. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think the only thing I wanted to mention is that um I completely forgot what I wanted to mention.
Was it The
That's the
Last of
first
Us
thing.
that's about to start?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Good mind, Jedi. Watch The Last of Us this Sunday.
Yep, premieres on the
on
15th.
HBO. And we will be talking about that the following week. And then the following week after that, we'll probably have I'm heading actually the following week after that we'll probably record before I fly to Amsterdam.
Yep.
So I may miss a week, and Jackie will probably fill in again for us talking about The Last of Us. So just a couple programming notes coming up. But yeah, we're gonna have a special Christopher Nolan episode, and we'll be talking about The Last of Us, and if we find anything else we want to talk about. So
yeah, we'll have a good lineup coming up.
I'm excited for The Last of Us. I keep watching the trailer. So
I think that's definitely like my number one show in the first quarter is going to be that, and then Succession is going to hit. And I'm going to forget all about The Last of Us.
well, the beauty about Last of Us is only supposed to be 2 seasons. It's only
nice.
It's the first season is going to be the first game, and the second season is going to be the second game.
Excellent.
So,
well, it's good. If they have a limited scope, then they'll do it right.
I think that's why I think it's going to be good. It's going to be focused, and it's not going to turn into The Walking Dead where it's like just goes on forever. It's
12 seasons, and now there's spinoffs coming. Yeah. No.
Well, they had spinoffs already during they had the other one. I forget.
Yeah. Just heard it on the radio today. There's going to be a spinoff for the main guy, right?
There
was supposed to be a movie, but now it's going to be
Go ahead.
No, yeah. Was supposed to be a movie, now it's going to be a TV show. And then there's a spinoff with Daryl Dixon.
Oh, really?
Which was the crossbow motorcycle.
Yeah,
and Negan.
And one of the ladies.
Probably Maggie.
Maggie, yes.
Yeah,
Negan and Maggie.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Like,
I mean, he killed her boyfriend. I can't Glenn. Yeah.
Glenn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn was one of my favorite characters in the first couple of seasons.
Dude, talk about ripping my heart out. Take out Glenn, and then you take out Abraham, who was by far the coolest motherfucker on that show.
Yeah. Is that the red head?
The ginger flat top? Yeah.
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 Dude, that was another one with a good opening, like, credits, man.
Oh, yeah.
The song, yeah.
And then they went back and reshot. They reshowed the first season on TV in black and white. Like, they were like, cool, you guys are getting into it. It was like 3 seasons later, and they were like, guess what? Halloween's coming. Now watch the first season, black and white. It'll scare the shit out of you. And it did. It was amazing.
I never saw that. I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it was a good one. So, yeah. So, appreciate everybody for joining this week. We talked a lot about, movies, I think this week, but some TV shows with True Detective, a lot of big hitters. Did True Detective win any Emmys or Golden Globes? It had to have.
I'm pretty sure it did, at least the first season, I would imagine.
Yeah, I got to imagine it did. But we talked about a lot of good stuff on this episode, and, appreciate everybody for joining. Be sure to check out our link tree that Chuck has put together for us. It, is on our Instagram page, and on it links to everything: our Twitter, our Instagram, our podcast platforms, even our website, Kicking It Media, where we will no doubt soon be having information about the Burrow Brothers podcast coming up, where we talk all things Cincinnati. That would be a great spoof podcast if we did that shit.
We got to do one episode of that.
Yes,
that would be great. Yeah, so real quick before we finish it out,
hit me.
The first season won an Emmy for title design, so that makes sense because you love the opening titles.
That intro was amazing.
Cary Fukunaga for outstanding director, Nick
writing,
Pizzolatto for writing. That was the Emmys, and then Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor, Matthew McConaughey. another Emmy for outstanding casting in a drama, another writing award, costume design award. Yeah, only that first season. The first season won about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 awards. But second, third season didn't win anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they should realize that. Like
Yeah.
the first season had everything that they needed to bring into season 4. So hopefully they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So but yeah, we digressed a little bit at during our outro, but
That's all good.
We will see you next week. And as always,
Peace.